Hey guys, Jess with Peekaboo Wreath. We just made on our last tutorial this gorgeous wreath base with our little gnomies and our plaid and all of these cutesy, glittery, snowy ribbons. And we are going to be making our bow for that now. So let's pull down our ribbons. We are going to be using this gorgeous plaid one. Oh, I love it. I feel like there's never enough chances to use this. But it is a 4-inch ribbon. We're going to be using this one. It says let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. We also have this one. It's black with the little fuzzies on the sides. I just love that right now. I can't get enough. We have this one, which is plaid as well, obviously. And we also have, let's see what else we can use. I got lots of plaids. I want to use a red. Let's see, because I kind of want to like break it up. I have this red one we can use. Yep, just like that. And then we're going to be using, so we'll have 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we'll use this little snowy on top. So that is what we're going to be doing. So let me stack these up in the order, like a reverse order, because we want to grab them in the order that we're going to be using them. All right, there we go. All right, so let me grab my bow jabra, which if you guys haven't seen, I bought a new one. I finally did it. I don't know if you guys have been hearing me complain about it, but I kept thinking that there was going to be more life in it and that maybe just the ribbons I was using was too wide. But you know what? I finally did it. I did it. I bought a new one. All right, so let's make this bow nice and full. It is the focal point of our wreath, and there's no sign, so this bow can be big and beautiful and bold. We're going to be putting it on the very bottom of our wreath for the tails to be hanging down. So I like to have some big tails. At least we're going to do 12 inches on that. I know, it's a lot, but you know what? Christmas is that way sometimes. Right? It's kind of one of the holidays where you're like, it's okay to be like over the top, right? Big and bold and beautiful and make it happen. Okay, so we're just gonna gather it like this and we're gonna turn it. And let me measure out how big that is. That is 7 inches. It's a 7-inch loop. And with the 4-inch ribbon, you could get away with a little bit of longer loops because the ribbon is wider. So I feel like when you do, like when I did those puppies, I did the 5-inch, but it was 2.5 inch. So I'm talking about the puppy paws. Guys, I've been doing so much Christmas wreath making lately. I've been loving it, and I've been trying to make lots of things for my craft shows, which I hope I don't bring home. I don't want to jinx myself, but guys, I know it's not about selling. I know that when you do craft shows, it's about learning, right? It's a learning process, just like anything else, but I did this show last year. It was my very first Christmas show I ever did. You guys, I sold 6 wreaths in one day, and it spoiled me bad. And it's kind of like what I'm always going to be chasing now. Like, remember that show I did? I sold 9 wreaths, and then I sold 2 on Etsy that weekend, and then, you know, that's a lot of money. Remember? Remember, guys, it could happen. All right, that is what I'm chasing. All right, chasing that. I'm hoping and believing that that's how every show is going to be. And you know what? You could be positive. So there. That's where I'm at, and I'm sticking to it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, so we're going to be putting this one in now. I'm just trying to break up the plaid. So I don't want to put plaid on plaid on plaid on plaid. I want to make sure that I have a solid in between. I'm making my tail just a smidge shorter. I think I'm actually going to do 2 loops on each side just because this is a skinnier, like a 1.5 inch ribbon, and it kind of I think that if I put the 1 loop in between the 2 loops, I think it'll be too big. like too big of a difference, and I think it'll look nice to have two. So we are breaking up our normal pattern. But you know what? Change is good sometimes, guys. It's part of life. What do they say? The only thing guaranteed in life is change. Right? Guys, I'm not very good with change, but I'm trying to be better with it. Right? I hope you guys will have to let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. I'm loving this plaid look. And one thing you have to kind of keep in mind with plaid is that it can have a tendency to get very dark, and you don't want that. You want it to still be like a light, pretty wreath. You don't want it to be like black, 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 right? It's just too much. Okay, so we did two. I'm actually gonna put this other one here first because I don't have as much, and I don't know if I have enough to do 2 loops of this. So this is what's called a directional ribbon, which means I'm gonna have to cut off this tail and add it in. Sometimes with directional ribbon, it doesn't, like you can't really tell. Like if it's like presents or something, I didn't need to dovetail that. You wouldn't need to necessarily care because presents can be upside down or anyway. But with this, we don't want it to be upside down. We want it to kind of, we want the words to be facing in a way that it looks like you can read it. So I'm just gonna make 1 loop on each side and then keep that tail coming down like this. Okay. I actually have to add this tail over here because the way it's laying. And I wanna make sure you put enough ribbon through here so that it's not gonna pull out. And I was right, I only had this much left. Okay, so I'm just gonna lay that down in there, making sure that that little part of that tail is still in there because we don't want that to come out. That tail is a little long, so I'm just gonna trim it up a little bit. Okay, now you can see that it says, let it snow, and this says let it snow and let it snow. All right, so the right ways. If we didn't fix that, then it would say, I don't know what let it snow is upside down, but we can't read it. That's what we're trying to get at. Okay, so there we go. Let me dovetail that a little bit stronger. There we go. All right, now we're gonna be using this really pretty black one. Oh, I love it. You can tell it's almost gone. I like that, the fuzzy edge, and it's velvet. I used to not be a fan of velvet for Christmas time, but I just, so elegant. I don't think I'm gonna have, let's try it. I was gonna say, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough to do 2 loops, but I think I'm going to because these loops are smaller. They're about 3 inches each side. You know what? Let's try. I think we're gonna be good. Okay, we're just twisting it to make sure that the finished side is always facing up. We're doing 2 loops on each side. Yeah, my old bow dabber would not have been able to handle this. You guys know, it was like letting my ribbons loose and out of control. It was unruly. All right, so we got our ribbons in here. Just gonna put a straight pin in there. I know there's only a small amount left, but it'll probably be enough for like 1 loop on each side. So we're gonna keep that. Okay, so here we are. We're gonna do another layer of the plaid with these really pretty snowflakes. And I know that I'm mixing in the 2.5 inch and 1.5 inch like all willy-nilly, but I think it works with this wreath because the plaid is the theme, and the gnomies of course. But all right, we're just gonna do 1 loop on each side, and then we're gonna come back in with that 1 inch ribbon and do 2 loops on each side. And then we'll put a little ornament or something in the middle to hide that pipe cleaner. What do you guys think about this so far? Look how thick it is. Gorgeous. Okay, I'm gonna cut that tail. and this 1-inch ribbon that I'm about to add on. This was from, well, this one here, Place and Time. I kind of feel like that might have been Joann's. You guys, is anyone else having like sadness about Joann's being gone? Like, I was sad when it closed, but I feel even more sad now that I'm going through all my Christmas stuff and finding all these treasures and realizing I can't get them anymore because Joann's is gone. Goodness gracious. I know I'm part of the problem, but it's a little sad. All right, so let's put this through. And then, like I said before, I'll add like a little silver ornament because we are going to be putting in silver bells in this wreath. And different plaid items. We have some plaid poinsettias. We have plaid ornaments. And we're going to be putting in silver bells. And I think that it's going to be too cute. You guys will have to let me know what you guys think about this. And make sure that you tune in for the next steps in our wreath making. We didn't have one adding the mesh in because it's kind of like the other tutorials where it's 30 inches. They're all cut to 30 inches long with 10.5-inch mesh. I had made that base a while ago. I'm trying to remember what I used that red and black. I probably used it maybe for Valentine's Day. Because red and black works for Valentine's Day too. So that's possibly what that was from. But anyways, let me stick this around. This is gonna be nice and thick. So I'm probably gonna have to use like this much of the pipe cleaner to wrap around. Kind of put my tails down here. Our loops, when we were building the bow, we kind of kept everything straight with the 2-1-2. Make sure you don't let that free. Move your thumb just a little bit to let that pipe cleaner in. We want to make sure that we keep all those, like those cut tails and cut loops straight. Make sure everything is still in there. All right, so that leaves me with one long one, which I'll be able to put through the mesh. Okay, I'm making sure I keep my thumb right here, and then I'm pulling all my tails down in the order that they belong. So there's a little bit less work to do when I build this onto my wreath. Spread those out a little bit. My red ones, get those tails over there. My black ones. This is so cute. And we always use wired ribbon so that we can keep everything nice and organized and nice, just like the way we like it. And like I said before, we're going to be putting in a little ornament in the middle there. But there's our bow. Nice and full and fluffy. So cute. And perfect for our wreath. All right, we'll see you next time.